On the phone with someone who has gone incredibly viral, millions of views, and I was excited when I got a chance to finally line this conversation up. We say good morning to Dr. William Vinyard. Dr. Vinyard, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Great, thank you. Okay, you are better known for what you do, your occupation as a cosmetic plastic surgeon in Port St. Lucie, Florida, where, oddly enough, I used to cut grass many years ago on a landscaping crew. But you have become incredibly popular on TikTok, millions of views because of your unique bedside manner. Now, we're going to get to all that here in a second, but we've got to start at the very beginning. I want to talk about the literal spark that sparked your interest in medicine. Where did it all begin?
For medicine, it was actually in community college where I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And one of the teachers there, professors, took an interest in my dissection ability when I was in biology class and started bringing me a lot of information about the University of Kansas School of Medicine for medical school. Didn't know if I had the ability to do that or not, but I gave it a shot and worked really hard at it and was able to achieve that goal. But it was really a professor in a community college. And what was really interesting about that is in medical school, when you're applying to residencies, you put your top number of residencies that you'd like to go to, and they do the same thing with who they interview, and it spits out, and that's where you end up going. But if you're married, they're going to try to get you and your spouse together. This particular professor was actually a year ahead of her spouse, and so they wanted to match together. So she took a year off, and she saw a job in the paper, local paper for biology professor, so she took that job. That's how she knew all the information about the medical school and surgery and so forth. And so it's kind of lucky that it fell that way, because I'm not sure I would have ever had the interest to go into medicine, because I wouldn't have had the spark of confidence that she brought to me and the information about it.
And wasn't your dad an electrician?
Yeah, my dad was an electrician, so we really didn't have anybody in our family in the medical field, so I wouldn't have had any knowledge of that. So it was really this professor that took an interest in me and started bringing that. So it was kind of a unique situation that worked out really well for me.
Yeah, it's amazing how things come together and work out on our life's path, for sure. Now, you mentioned KU, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Did you meet your wife there?
We did, yeah. Met her at the University of Kansas undergraduate, and so her and I have been together for 25 years, going to be 26 this year, and so through all of our training and residencies and stuff, we traveled all across the country training in California, Birmingham, Alabama, and then ultimately landed in Southeast Florida, where I wanted to be for scuba diving, the weather, and all of that. Wanted to raise my kids by the beach. So
Sure. Great spot to do it. When was the last time you were in Kansas?
Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to head there again for 4th of July this year.
Nice. Excellent. Anywhere close to Wichita or more close to the university?
It's in, her family lives in Shawnee, Kansas.
Okay.
So.
All right, nice. Just outside the city.
And my sister lives in Parkville, Missouri, so I'm just on the Missouri side. It's just separated about 20, 25 minutes.
Oh, that'll be fun. So let's get to your unique bedside manner. You went viral on TikTok for singing to patients as they basically go under the anesthesia. I'm so curious how this all started. Was it your idea or was it a patient's suggestion?
No, it was not my idea, because I'm stage fright. I didn't want to sing in front of awake people. But I've always dreamed of singing. I always loved country music. Grew up loving that. Would have loved to have been able to do that also as a profession. Life gets in the way, though.
Sure.
But no, I would sing when I operated and not even know that I was doing it. Kind of like when you sing when you're driving and you're not really doing it for a show. You're just enjoying it, right?
Right.
And so it helps me to stay focused and get into a creative mode. When I'm doing my procedures, I just happen to sing and have music. I think it keeps everybody in a positive mood and less distracted. And so one of the preoperative surgery nurses at one of the surgery centers that I worked with many years back had told one of my patients that I sing and said, "You should ask him to sing you to sleep." And so she did. And so when I sang her a song of her choice, I just saw all the anxiety go away from her face.
Sure.
And so as a surgeon, you bring people back to the operating room, and, it's a frightening thing. Everybody's nervous and scared and so forth. But when I did that, I just saw all of the anxiety come out of her face. And so I did it for the next patient and the next patient, and then it kind of caught on. Everybody came with what song they wanted to hear, and then one of my patients wanted me to record the surgery and record me singing to her. Then asked my manager to put it on TikTok, on social, and when that was one of the first viral ones, I think it went over 1 million or something.
Yeah.
So that was the first time, and I was just shocked, honestly, to know that people cared that deeply about the interaction and how that was in the bedside manner. Everything in our practice is really geared to making the patient feel as comfortable as possible. How I design my operating room, how we bring them into the operating room, the music that they're playing, everything is trying to look from their point of view to make that experience as positive as possible. And the singing just happens to be one of those things.
Right.
But at our practice, I have my own surgery center, my own practice. Everybody knows what their roles are, because you may see in the video it's just me and one person,
right,
or three, the anesthesia. But there's several other people in the operating room. They all have their duties, and they're all moving around doing what they need to get done for the patient's safety. And I have the monitors pointed right at me, so although I'm looking at the patient, I see everything that's going on. But everybody knows what their role is to make sure that the patient feels comfortable, but everybody else that's not in the view is doing what they're supposed to do. And, if you don't have this singing going on, then the patient's laying there flat, all this ruckus is going around. It's very scary to them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's how it kind of got started. But it's something I've been doing, for my pretty much most of all of my career, is singing, but singing while they're going to sleep has been something over the last, maybe 10 years.
Yeah. So you won't sing for awake people, but you'll drug them first. I see how that works.
That's right. Yeah, they're happier.
But there are so many layers to this, right? Because, A, you hit the nail on the head. Patients want to be less scared, right? But two, you're also really good at it. You've got a great singing voice.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
I always loved "Should Have Been a Cowboy" from Toby Keith.
Yeah, from Toby Keith, which also has...
It's kind of it has a double meaning to it. I love Toby Keith, but also, I'm a plastic surgeon, but should have been a cowboy.
And the story behind that song, out here in, I believe it was Dodge City, he was with a friend, and they witnessed basically this dude trying to pick up a girl in a bar, and he failed, and he wasn't wearing the cowboy hat and the boots and things like that. And they said, you should have been a cowboy. And that's kind of what gave birth to the song. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. There you go.
Great. Yeah.
What is your most popular song request? Is there one from all the patients as they come through? Is there one song in particular that everyone kind of gravitates toward?
I think most of them has been "Good Morning Beautiful" by Steve Foley. That was probably because it was the first song that went viral.
Okay.
But now it's a lot of times it's their wedding song or something, a family member's favorite song.
Okay.
And then if I know it, I'll be able to sing it. If not, I'll do my best and, sing along with it. And, or if, they really want me to sing something that, I know, they'll just, ask me to take my choice, and then I'll ask them kind of what genre or so forth. But most of them are going to want country music.
Sure. Realistically, how long are you singing before they are out?
So it's very everything is very synchronized. Everybody knows what their role is.
Okay.
So from the time the patient rolls into the operating room, the song starts when the patient rolls in. The moment the doors open, it's already time. Their song comes on, and you immediately see that anxiety go away. Like, my song, and then from the time they get wheeled in over to the table, and we've got blood pressure cuff, pulse ox on, position, DKG monitoring, all that stuff. The patient is asleep by the end of the song.
Okay.
So the songs are typically 3.5 minutes long. So everything is very synchronized and safe.
Right.
So we're able to get that in, and the medication is usually, patient gets pre-oxygenated and monitor everything looks good, and so usually the patient and the medication is delivered and they're asleep by the end of the song.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty quick.
So I see these videos on TikTok as far as the funny things people say coming out of anesthesia. A guy I work with, he asked me to come pick him up after his colonoscopy one day, and I walked in, and he was telling everybody who walked by his recovery bed, that I was the world-famous J.J. Hayes. Now, I'm not world-famous, but I tease him about that. I'm like, dude, I can't wait for your next colonoscopy to see what you're going to say next. So can you think of something like the funniest thing someone has said coming out of anesthesia?
Oh, God. I've heard a lot.
I'm sure.
But, unfortunately, I can't say any of those things.
Oh, so like no true anesthesia confessions or something like that?
No.
Okay.
No, I hear a lot, but I would never repeat anything that anybody says.
So what you're saying is use my wildest imagination.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, Dr. Vinyard, other than plastic surgery and singing, what's the one thing you're really good at?
I'd hope that's being a husband and a father. I hope that's the case.
Yeah,
I try my best.
Well, your wife, I'm sure, will let you know if you're not.
Yeah, well, that's the most important thing.
Sure.
Priorities for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and I forgot to ask, and this is kind of a personal question, but what song does your wife like you to sing to her most of the time?
It changes.
Okay.
Right. She really likes the "Thank God" song from Kane Brown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say that's one of her favorite songs.
Nice. All right.
I think we're going to be releasing another one of those songs here in the next week or so. That's Cody Johnson with you I Am.
Yeah. Great song.
Yeah. Great song.
Yep. Can't wait to see that video. Listen, Dr. William Vinyard, you are first and foremost a gift to your patients for the way you put them at ease, but a gift to social media with your songs and your singing, because honestly, it's fantastic, and I can't wait to keep on following you, and it's nice to know there's a Kansas connection. So continued success in your professional and personal life, and I appreciate you making the time today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on your show.